This is a story from the ancient Maya about the secrets hidden beneath the jungle. It is one of my favorite stories because it reminds me why we are here in this beautiful place. Beneath the jungle, where the roots dip into the darkness, there is water. Still, and that's how it's always been, still and sacred. For thousands of years, the Maya have revered these underground pools. These cenotes, which are natural wells, some filled with crystal clear water, others rich with stalactites and stalagmites. These formations created over centuries by the slow drip of water. They rise from the bottom like stone fingers reaching up to greet the sun. But this is the cenote. Here, the canopy thins just enough to let the light through, slicing a hole in the thick green ceiling. The opening in the jungle floor reveals a circular pool of deep, silent blue. Even at noon, the water stays cold, icy, but not unpleasantly so. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the water breathing. The air here is cooler, crisper than in the jungle, damp with the smell of wet earth and blooming night jasmine. The Mayans believed that when the water receded, the bedrock revealed the navel of the earth, the entrance to the underworld, a door between the world above and the world of spirits below. When the water was high, it was protected by the goddess of the lake, the fierce and beautiful Ixchel. But if you stepped quietly to the edge, as the sun dipped low in the sky, when the veil between the worlds was thinnest, you might catch a glimpse of what lay beneath. The old stone stairs circled down into the darkness. If you could climb down, if you dared, you'd find that the walls curled down around you, keeping watch, never letting go of the secret they hold. But if you pressed your ear to the cool stones, you could hear the murmur of the water below, rushing, gurgling, a secret symphony of dripping water. Only the sound of dripping water and your breath. If you sat very still, letting your fingers touch the surface of the water, it would tell you stories from before time, from before the jungle grew, from before the Spanish came. Stories of the people who had lived and died here, who walked the earth as jaguars, who spoke with the voices of serpents and the wisdom of the deer. You would feel the power of the water as it ran over your skin, heard the lullaby of the forest all around. The water is cool, pure, alive. Long ago, the Maya priests would come here to the cenote to speak with their ancestors, to offer them gifts, to seek their wisdom. And though you may not see them, though the jungle may be silent, know that it is full of spirits, full of life. And as the last sliver of sun slips below the horizon, you close your eyes. In the ripples on the surface of the water, you see visions. A woman holding a bundle of maize, the staff of life. A shaman lighting candles in the darkness, his face painted with the colors of the sunset. A jaguar in the trees, unmoving, watching. The jungle is still. The jungle is safe. Here beneath the roots of the ancient trees, among the vines and the birds and the bats, you are wrapped in the coolness of the cave, held by the power of the earth. Here the past is always now. The spirits of the jungle walk with us, live with us, watch over us. And if you lie back, letting the cool cave wrap around you, you will hear the sacred water singing its eternal song, carrying you deeper and deeper into sleep. For more stories from the ancient Maya, check out this playlist. When I first came to the jungle, I knew nothing about the history of the Maya or their connection to this sacred landscape. So many of the places we visit were sacred sites, but without knowing why, I couldn't understand the significance of what we were seeing. That's why I'm so grateful for our guide. Our guide is from the local community, and he has dedicated his life to protecting the legacy of the Maya. Not only does he take us to amazing places, but he shares the history, culture, and traditions of the Maya so that we can learn and appreciate the beauty of this land. His knowledge and passion have brought us to some amazing places, many of them off the beaten path. He has shown us sacred waterfalls, petroglyphs carved by the hand of ancient man, and breathtaking views that few people get to see. Not only does he teach us about the history of the area, But he also shares his own personal stories and experiences, giving us a unique perspective on life in the jungle. He's an expert tracker, and he taught us about the animals that live in the jungle, their behavior, and their importance to the ecosystem. He showed us how to read the signs left behind by the animals and how to track them through the forest. We saw footprints, droppings, and other clues that told us what kind of animals were in the area. We even got to see some animals up close, including monkeys, birds, reptiles, and even a sloth. Our guide is a true ambassador for the jungle, and his knowledge and passion are contagious. We highly recommend joining him for a tour. If you want to learn more about the Maya and their ancient traditions, then I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We share stories, history, and culture from the Maya and other indigenous cultures from around the world. Thanks for watching. When the moon is high, the jungle sleeps. And when the jungle sleeps, the spirits wake. So hush your mind and hold your breath, for tonight you will hear a dream. A story carried by starlight from the time before time. Long ago in the time before time, there were two brothers, Hanapu and Zibalank, the hero twins, twin heroes of the Maya. They were born of kings, destined for greatness, but also marked for death. For even the gods fear the day they must die. So while they were yet boys, the gods arranged a game of life or death. They took the twins to the ball court in the sky and asked that they play a game against the lords of the underworld. And the stakes were simple. If the gods win, the boys would live. But if the boys win, the gods would have to die. The hero twins knew what was expected of them. This was their destiny, to defeat death and bring life to the world. But still, it was a hard bargain to be asked of them at such a young age. So they called upon all their strength, all their cunning, all their courage. And then they agreed. Thus began the greatest game ever played, a game of strategy and skill, a game of life or death. The gods sent their best players to face the twins, the lords of the underworld. And one by one, they were defeated. Death itself trembled before the power of the hero twins. And so it went on, night after night, until finally only one god remained. The final challenge, the last test, the Lord of Death. But he was clever. He tricked the twins, distracting them, confusing them, leading them into traps. Yet the hero twins persevered. They kept their eyes on the prize, the salvation of the world. They battled the Lord of Death and his minions through 9 deadly trials. They escaped the jaws of monsters, deciphered cryptic messages, navigated treacherous landscapes. But each time the Lord of Death was just beyond their grasp, taunting them, mocking them, reminding them of what was at stake. At last, they reached the heart of the underworld. One more trial, one more victory, and the world would be saved. But this was no ordinary battle. This was the ultimate test of courage, strength, and wisdom. For the Lord of Death was not just a trickster. He was the ruler of the underworld. He commanded an army of shadows, a legion of nightmares. But the hero twins did not falter. They fought with all their might, their blades flashing in the darkness, their spirits soaring. But the Lord of Death was too powerful. Despite their bravery, despite their skill, the hero twins were exhausted. Their bodies ached, their minds raced, their hearts pounded. And in that moment of weakness, the Lord of Death struck. He knocked the ball out of balance, just enough to tip the scales in his favor. And as the crowd of gods and demons watched in suspense, the Lord of Death made his move. He lunged forward and snatched the ball from the air. Victory was his, but something unexpected happened. As the Lord of Death raised his staff in triumph, a bolt of lightning split the sky, and a voice boomed across the underworld. Enough. The gods had witnessed the bravery of the hero twins. They had seen their perseverance, their determination, their selflessness. And even in defeat, they were worthy of respect. The gods approached the Lord of Death and made a bargain. In exchange for granting the hero twins their lives, they would give him something even more valuable, their immortality. And so it was done. The hero twins returned to the world of the living, forever young, forever strong, forever free. But the gods ascended to the underworld, becoming the guardians of the dead. And thus the cycle began anew. The gods ruled the underworld, keeping it in balance, making sure that death came for all, both great and small. And the hero twins, they became the sun and the moon, forever dancing in the sky, forever guiding the world. When the moon is full, the jungle sleeps. And when the jungle sleeps, the spirits wake. So hush your mind and hold your breath, for tonight you will hear a dream. A story carried by starlight from the time before time. Long ago in the time before time, there were two brothers, Hanapu and Isbalank, the hero twins. They played in the ball court of the heavens, diving and dodging, jumping and juking, kicking and throwing, running and turning, weaving and bobbing, passing and shooting, scoring goal after goal. Laughter echoed through the cosmos as the divine ball sailed through the air. Their father, the maze god, watched with pride as his son zipped and zoomed, dodged and darted, leaped and soared. Their movements were poetry in motion, a symphony of skill and grace. With every twist and turn, they delighted the gods who crowded the celestial stands. But the hero twins grew restless. The heavenly courts bored them. The divine games paled in comparison to the challenges they craved. One day, they approached their father, the maze god, and asked for permission to journey to the underworld. The maze god warned them of the dangers that awaited, the perils of the path, the pitfalls of the journey. But the hero twins were undeterred. They yearned for adventure, for glory, for a chance to prove themselves. So the maze god, unable to deny their request, equipped them with the tools they needed to survive the journey. First, he gave them the power of transformation, the ability to change their shape at will. Then he gave them the strength of jaguars, the speed of rabbits, the wisdom of turtles, the feathers of quetzals. Finally, he gave them the most important tool of all, the knowledge of the sacred caves. These were the tunnels that connected the underworld to the world of the living, the pathways that the hero twins would need to navigate. With these gifts in hand, the hero twins set off on their journey. They descended into the underworld, the land of shadows and secrets, where the sun's rays dared not penetrate. They mocked the hero twins, taunting them, challenging them to join their macabre game. But the hero twins refused. They were there to rescue the lost souls trapped in the underworld, not to play with their captors. Enraged by the twins' defiance, the tricksters attacked. But the hero twins were prepared. They unleashed the powers the maze god had given them, transforming into different animals, dodging the attacks of their enemies. They fought fiercely, their movements fluid and graceful, their attacks swift and deadly. Yet despite their skills, the tricksters were too powerful. They were the lords of the underworld, after all, and this was their domain. Slowly, the hero twins began to lose hope. They were outnumbered, outmatched, exhausted. And as the tricksters closed in for the kill, the hero twins knew they needed a miracle. Then Hanapu remembered the knowledge the maze god had given them, the secrets of the sacred caves. There was a way out, a way to escape the underworld. It would take all their strength, all their courage, all their wits, but it was their only chance. So the twins made a plan. Sabalank would distract the tricksters, buying his brother time to navigate the caves. Then they would meet up on the other side and escape together. As the tricksters closed in, Hezbollah danced away, leading them on a wild goose chase through the caverns. Meanwhile, Hanafu began his descent into the heart of the underworld. He moved swiftly, silently, dodging the traps and pitfalls the tricksters had set for him. It was a dangerous journey, but Hanafu was determined. He could hear the tricksters getting closer. Zbalank couldn't hold them off much longer. Taking a deep breath, he pushed on. In the center stood a magnificent tree, its branches reaching towards the ceiling, its leaves rustling in the wind. This was the tree of life, the symbol of the underworld, the source of all souls. And according to the teachings of the maize god, it was also the key to escaping the underworld. Hanafu had made it. As the tricksters burst into the cavern, they saw the tree of life and their eyes lit up. They had been looking for this tree for years, hoping to use it to gain power over the world of the living. But now the hero twins stood in their way. The final battle was about to begin. The tricksters attacked, but the hero twins were ready. Hanafu climbed the tree of life, using its branches and leaves as weapons. Zbalank danced around the tricksters, dodging their attacks, striking them when they least expected it. Together, they were unstoppable, and soon the tricksters were defeated. Birds sang sweetly in the trees, and butterflies fluttered among the flowers. It was a paradise. The tale of two young spirits, Hanapu and Zbalank, who once played amongst the stars. Now rest your head upon the moss. Close your eyes beneath the ancient trees. Let the whispers of the jungle lull you to sleep. And as you dream, imagine the hero twins dancing across the night sky, their laughter echoing through eternity. Welcome to the jungle. Tonight, we are going deep into the heart of the ancient Maya forest. Come with me now on this nocturnal journey to discover a sacred site lost to time. Can you hear the chorus of tree frogs and the gentle hoot of an owl somewhere above us? And then we see it, an imposing pyramid rising from the trees like a slumbering giant. Its surface is a tapestry of vines and foliage, adorned with the intricate carvings of ancient deities. But who or what do these figures represent? Fireflies begin to appear, their tiny lights flickering like fallen stars. As we approach the pyramid, the presence of the Jaguar god becomes more intense. The chirping of crickets fills the air, creating a soothing melody that resonates with the rhythm of the ancient stones. The walls are adorned with bas-reliefs depicting scenes from Maya mythology. These are the shamans, the spiritual leaders of the Maya, who were said to have the ability to shapeshift at will. They were believed to have traveled to the Jaguar underworld, the place of eternal night, and emerged with the power to heal and transform. Jaguars prowl through the undergrowth, their eyes glowing like embers in the darkness. Their powerful presence is palpable, as if they are guarding the secrets of the temple. All around are the echoes of rituals performed under the light of the full moon. It is here that the Maya shamans are said to have entered the underworld, journeying into the belly of the earth to commune with the Jaguar gods. Here, the Maya would have gathered to pay homage to the Jaguar gods, to dance and chant in their honor, and to seek their protection. The jungle is alive with the sound of birds, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the distant calls of night animals. The air is cool and damp, and the only light comes from the faint glow of fireflies dancing outside. As we approach the altar, we feel the presence of the Jaguar god all around us. Its power and majesty fill us with a sense of awe and reverence. We move deeper into the earth, the weight of the jungle pressing down on us from all sides. In the distance, we hear the soft padding of paws, and when we open our eyes, we see the Jaguar spirit moving through the cavern. But instead of fear, we feel a sense of calm and serenity. The night has deepened, and the stars are beginning to appear in the sky. We look back at the mouth of the cavern, and it is gone, hidden from view. The Jaguar spirit is not here to harm us, but to guide us, to show us the way. Jaguars were often seen as symbols of our darkest fears, our primal instincts, and our hidden potential. By confronting our fears and embracing our shadows, we can transform them into sources of strength and wisdom. The air is filled with the scent of flowers, the earthy aroma of damp soil, and the sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine. The hoot of an owl echoes through the trees, and the distant growl of a puma sends shivers down our spine. The trees seem to reach out to us, their branches forming a canopy overhead. Soon we will emerge from the jungle and return to the world we know. But we will never forget the journey we have undertaken. The jaguar god may be hidden from view, but its spirit will always be with us, guiding us on our journey through life. We pause to admire the beauty of a spider monkey swinging effortlessly through the trees, its long tail trailing behind it. We are forever changed by our encounter with the jaguar god, and we know that our lives will never be the same again. Before us, an altar stands bathed in the light of torches, its surface carved with the image of a jaguar. With their help, we navigate the tangled vines and fallen trees, knowing that we are always accompanied by the guardians of the night. We have journeyed into the depths of our own being and emerge transformed. Birds begin to sing, butterflies flutter among the flowers, and the air is filled with the buzz of insects. We can hear the distant calls of monkeys and the roar of a waterfall. We light incense and offer prayers to the jaguar god, asking for its protection and guidance. In the distance, we can hear the sound of running water, and following the sound, we come across a small stream. Gazing into the crystal clear water, we see our reflection in the face of the jaguar god staring back at us. With a heavy heart, we bid farewell to the jaguar god, promising to return someday. As the smoke rises from the altar, it takes on the shape of a jaguar, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Above us, the ceiling is painted with images of jaguars soaring through the sky, their tails adorned with feathers. We begin our ascent, each step taking us closer to the heart of the mystery. You can feel its watchful gaze upon you, sensing your arrival. We pause at the foot of the steps leading to the temple, taking a moment to absorb the immensity of what lies ahead. They were revered as protectors, their power and ferocity matched only by their wisdom and grace. Its strength, power, and wisdom fill us with a sense of awe and reverence. We are just visitors in its domain, pilgrims on a sacred journey. Before us, a vast plaza unfolds, dominated by a towering stepped pyramid. At its center, a single jaguar statue stands guard, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. According to legend, this is the entrance to the Jaguar, underworld, the realm of eternal night where the jaguar gods reside. Its steep sides are covered in vines and moss, making it almost invisible against the lush backdrop of the jungle. According to legend, this is no ordinary pyramid. It is the gateway to the jaguar underworld, the realm of eternal night. The Maya believed that jaguars possessed the ability to shape-shift, to walk between the worlds of the living and the dead. They were seen as messengers of the gods, their presence both revered and feared. The full moon casts an ethereal glow upon the forest floor, revealing a path of vines and roots leading us deeper into the green embrace. Another was the Lord of the Night, a stealthy hunter whose every step was silent and deadly. There was even a jaguar goddess, the Lady of the Moon, who ruled over the heavens and guided souls to the underworld. These tales have been passed down through generations, woven into the very fabric of the jungle itself. As the sun dips below the horizon, the jungle awakens. Listen closely. The air grows heavy with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and the earthy aroma of damp soil. Legend speaks of fearsome jaguar gods, the Balam, that once roamed these lands. One such jaguar god was known as the Feathered Serpent, a celestial warrior who soared through the skies on wings of fire. And tonight, we are about to encounter one of them. Above us, the moon climbs higher in the sky, bathing the jungle in an otherworldly light. The air grows cooler as we climb, the thick canopy of vines overhead creating a natural cathedral. But there are other carvings, too, of humans transformed into jaguars, their bodies covered in the spotted pelts, their faces morphing into the likeness of their feline counterparts. We continue our ascent until we reach the summit of the pyramid. From here, the plaza stretches out before us, overgrown with vegetation and littered with the remnants of ancient fires. As we stand in the center of the plaza, we feel the energy of the jaguar all around us. We turn our attention to the stepped pyramid at the center of the plaza. At the base of the pyramid, a small opening has been left, just large enough for a single person to pass through. But before we enter, we take a moment to appreciate the beauty of our surroundings. We step into the opening at the base of the pyramid and find ourselves in a dark and narrow passageway. And then suddenly, the passage opens up into a vast cavern. And on the far wall, an opening reveals a glimpse of the night sky, a reminder that we are still connected to the world above. And in that moment, we understand that we are not just standing in the presence of a jaguar god, but also in the presence of our own fears and shadows. With a newfound sense of courage, we turn our attention back to the altar. We close our eyes and listen to the sounds of the jungle, the buzzing of insects, the rustle of leaves, and the distant calls of night animals. It approaches us, its eyes fixed on ours, and we feel its power and presence envelop us. Following the jaguar spirit, we emerge from the cavern and find ourselves back on the plaza. As we make our way through the dense undergrowth, the jungle seems to come alive all around us, but we are not alone. Moving silently through the shadows are the jaguar spirits, their eyes watching over us, ensuring our safe passage home. Finally, we emerge from the jungle and find ourselves in a clearing. In that moment, we realize that the journey we have undertaken is not just a physical one, but a spiritual one as well. As the first rays of sunlight begin to pierce through the canopy, we know it's time to return home. The journey back is filled with the sights and sounds of the awakening jungle. As we make our way through the undergrowth, we can feel the energy of the jungle all around us. The sun climbs higher in the sky, and we know that our adventure is coming to an end. With the wisdom and courage of the jaguar, we have explored the depths of our own being and discovered the magic that lies within. As the jungle fades away, we carry with us the lessons we have learned and the memories we have made.